Hey, it's Raven Tactical here. We're going to do the squad gunner roll in the team tactics. It's going to be the last one. Well, actually, I have one more, but it's going to be the kind of most unique one in the series. The squad roll, if you look at it from a military standpoint, it'd be your 249, 240 Bravo kind of guy, where they're carrying a light machine gun and able to engage and be able to shoot distances, right? Not only that, they're shooting full auto, so suppressive fire is really big with this. So when you're doing suppressive fire, you're able to keep the enemy's head down. They're not able to move. Psychologically, suppressive fire puts fear in people because it makes you sound like there's a lot more people behind you firing at once. If you were to take a concept too, a concept with that, they usually in the 249 and 240 roll they have drums, so they have a lot more ammunition in them. So when we talk about the squad gunner, as far as like in a civilian prepper militia kind of standpoint, we're going to talk about the semi-auto feature. Obviously, if you can afford fully automatic, awesome. If you can afford belt fed and to keep the belt fed going and have all the links and all the ammunition, that's cool too. I can't. I don't have that kind of funding. So what I did is I turned it into how you can make a squad gunner with using what you have, right? Well, the Russians came out with doing an RPK, which is essentially just a heavy barreled, beefier version of an AK-47, right? And it works from, I think it works from a militia standpoint. It works from a military standpoint. Why do I think it works? Well, the difference between squad gunner and let's say the rifleman roll, the rifleman's going to have your combat load mag, right? 28, 30 rounds. Well, the RPK and AR gunners are going to start out with, RPKs start out with 75, and AR is going to start out with 100 round drums. So already you have 2 to 3 times the amount of ammunition there. So what does that give you? Well, if you have the squad gunner right here, he's able to just basically lay fire all the way down, while these guys are maybe engaging or should be engaging, but they're also having to reload, right? They're also having to reload every 28. It also gives them the opportunity while he's doing all this to maneuver and make position maneuvers on this and actually advance or retreat. So with that said, we're going to look at what the loadout should look like, right? Again, everybody does them, should do what they want to do. I'm not telling you how to do it. This is a you do you moment, and you do what you want, and I would like to see your comments in the comment section. See what you say about it, right? So when we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about RPK AR, right? The Russian RPK was the original, in my opinion, squad semi-automatic. Well, it was fully automatic, but the ones that were sold here were semi, right? The AR platform, right? And you're going to look at probably an 18, 20 inch heavy barrel. It necessarily doesn't have to be a precision barrel like the DMR, but you're going to look at a heavy barrel AR, right? You're going to look at things like having a heat sink in the barrel to draw the heat away from it. You're going to look at things like that. You want as much cooling ability to that barrel as you can because it's going to be shot rapidly, right? You're going to start out with a 100 round drum, 75 in the AKs. So that 100 round drum is going to give you, again, 2 to 3 times more than the standard rifleman. It's going to give you the ability to shoot, engage, and stay in that fight longer. A standard loadout, I would say, would be 200 round drums. Well, the extra drums, beyond that, if you have them, rifleman could carry them, or someone else could carry them. So that way you can keep going, right? And then 6 to 8 40 round mags. Magpul sells them for about $19. Again, it's all about having sustained fire, having more ammunition or more loaded magazines than the rifleman next to you. The beauty of this setup, right? If you run 223-556, or you're running all 7.62 by 3.9, or you're running all the same caliber, you're capable of taking the 100 round drum and putting it inside the rifleman's AR. You're capable of putting in the DMR roll. You're capable of putting in the point man's AR. Everything is fluid and interchangeable, so nothing is getting stuck with one with the other. That's the whole concept of kind of having similarity with calibers and similarity with platforms, right? You don't get that with having one guy with a Ruger Mini 14, right? Unless you all run Mini 14s. So you have that as the concept behind it, right? Then again, we're gonna go plate carrier, obviously ceramic or steel plates. We're gonna talk about radios. Again, I'm gonna show you the same, same ICOM radio. These things are very useful. They're very powerful. They're a little bit sturdier. I've seen a lot of people use Bofang, and why Bofang, however you want to say it. And I've seen it used because I think people can get it off Amazon for $30. And they, like me, I'm not a whiz in radios. I don't know everything about them. I'm learning as it goes. And I plan on having my ham operator license, the technician, and getting in general. The reason I would say get something a little bit nicer, HYT makes a really good product, is Baofeng has a tendency to fail in a stressed environment where it's getting wet, beaten, damaged. I've seen them where the screen fails out of the box. So, I mean, it's one of those things where you're going to put your life on the line for something for $30 or spend maybe $100 or $150 and getting something better. Or, you know what, if you can afford even better than that, more power to you. It's however you want to spend your money on the things you want. There are things, people will probably tell you that their Baofeng survived a hurricane. Cool. The majority I don't think have, It's one of those things where I think you pay for what you get. Water MRE, again, I'm going to emphasize on having food, right? So the food you're going to need, food is going to dictate your mission. So if you're going to go planning on a patrol that takes you all day, maybe having, a day or two worth of food. If you're going to go on a 7-day long range patrol, plan accordingly. Water, so where we live, it freezes and snows. And then we have hot summers. Having a Camelback is not really advisable in winter, but it's good in summer. Camelbacks tend to have a problem freezing and exploding the bladder, right? So you want to be careful with Camelbacks and freezing temps, but having canteens and freezing temps where you can keep them close to your body. Water is crucial. When you go down to optics again, I did leave out. I'm gonna put up iron sights again. That's sloppy. But obviously irons. We're gonna have irons on there, and a kind of a scope setup, a 1 to 4 power scope. Like Vortex makes them, Primary Arms makes them. A bunch of people make a quality scope that has a 1 to 4 power range. You want to be able to zoom in if you can, and be able to see a little bit greater distances. Red dots also work, right? So you're not precision shooting, but if you ever look at the tables for what the military uses a 249 for, they're engaging. They're taking a 249 and they're engaging between 400 and 800 yards. They're pushing a 249 out. They're pushing that caliber out. So it's not that you're going to be taking 800 meter shots, but you're going to be pushing maybe sometimes even a little further than the rifleman is. You're also going to be pushing further to kind of keep people pinned down. You probably won't get first place, first shots kind of thing, but it is like, let's say if you had something sitting out here at 600 meters, you're peppering that target a little bit, to try to put rounds out there. Bipod would be crucial. That way you're having a stable platform. I'm going to revert back to the red dot too. Red dots would work great because you can put, you get a good field of view. You're able to basically be, on game, on point with it, and be able to shoot. You're able to see a kind of a wild view. Quality sling. What you're going to carry is heavy. A heavy barreled rifle with a drum in it is going to weigh it quite a bit. So having a great sling that's set up so that you're not putting the weight onto your arms, but it's more on across the sling and across your shoulders, great. That's something that you're going to have to work and modify. The trigger setup. So obviously we're going to look at the bump stock is banned, right? That's a big sad thing. I'm kind of pissed about it. But triggers, right? So you have like echo triggers and all this that you could put in to make the additional, I guess if you want, simulated full auto fire, for better sake of words, right? So you're going to want to be able to place these shots, take these shots, and be able to do it. You can still use your finger, you can use the finger and just pull the trigger as normal, but one of the options is to put an echo trigger in, which I believe fires on pull and release, which helps out with doing sustained rate of fire. Excuse me, having a cold. Again, the whole concept of this is to give people options, right? To give people ideas, to get people thinking. I mean, really, to me, critical thinking in the prepping community lacks, right? People in the prepping community, some people have difficulties thinking outside of the box. And I thought about this when I came up with the team tactics concept, was to specialize and actually show people there's more to just having a rifle and then going to a course and training. There's taking this and bringing it into specialized things where your 5-man team, now instead of having 5 guys with the same setup, well, now you have the ability to operate more. You can operate with the ability to have, sustained fire where the rifleman can move. You have the ability to have a point man who's maybe running a little bit lighter, who can observe better. You have a DMR guy who could take better accurate shots. You have a little bit more of a role. Do I see it as an everyday thing? Absolutely not. Take it for what it is. You do you, and let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you.